What's going on YouTube? It's Fine Okay, and today I'm bringing back the series of In Review. I say bringing back the series, but I just haven't made an episode in a while. That's pretty much it. But we're going to be making another episode today. I'm going to be playing ERLANG SHEN in the solo lane, of course. I'm going to be versus a Zhonghui, which is a pretty meta pick right now. Zhonghui has seen a lot of play lately. He's definitely a flavor pick right now, and it's actually not the best matchup ever. I feel like Zhonghui is probably pretty decent in this matchup. However, if the Zhonghui isn't too good, you should be able to abuse him as the high pressure warrior as Erlang. So I'm just going to go ahead and click play. This is just a VOD from my stream. I'm going to have the stream muted, of course, not only so I can commentate over it with the review, but also because there's music playing and I don't want to get copyright strike. So yeah, so like I said, I'll be playing Erlang today. I'm just going to start out with the build with the Warrior's Blessing. And I was thinking about just going boots and teleport. I've been liking teleport again lately. I just think it's really useful. Allows you to abuse your lead, especially as these high pressure warriors. So just always be in lane and stuff like that. However, I end up selling my boots one because I'm against Zhonghui, and I figure if this Zhonghui is any decent, he's going to poke pretty well. And I just want to be able to stay healthy throughout the beginning laning phase until I get my boots. You could just go boots one and Chalice and just play it correctly, and you won't have to worry too much. But I do want to be pretty aggressive because I want to make use of the early game from Erlang. So I decided to go 2 health bots instead of the boots one, just so I can stay healthy for that. Warrior's Blessing, of course, that's always what you're going to be starting at. I'm pretty much every solo laner. But looking at the team comps, we have a lot of healing on our team. It's something to notice right away. So Erlang kind of gets countered by anti-heal because you want to use that ult to sustain back up. And if you use that in a fight and it doesn't really provide you with anything because of the anti-heal, then you're going to be kind of feeling bad. So something to note right away is if the enemy team notices this and they either go anti-heal at times or are characters that have anti-heal like Sobek, then it's going to feel bad for me. However, we do have a lot of healing, so at the end of the day, maybe we could just sustain out of combat, and maybe I can't make too much use of my ult as far as the heal, but I'm still going to use it for the CC, and it's a long CC. So yeah, these are things to just think about, especially when you're building. So like if say I have a team comp that has a lot of healing in it, like the one I do now, I need to think about the items that I'm going. Well, if I'm going to go items that rely on healing, like Glad Shield, Stone of Gaia, then I could get countered pretty hard. I end up going Glad Shield anyway this game because I've been trying out this build where I go Ansile and Glad Shield because you just get so much power from it. You end up getting 60 power from it. And right now, I think that's the best way to play Warriors, is to play pretty aggressive with power early on. So I don't know where the Zhonghui is at all right here, so I'm just going to hard push. I'm going to push and go to my blue. I'm not really too sure how this Zhonghui started the game. Just a little confused, but something to note is if he's doing something else and I push the wave, he will get full credit for the wave if he TPs in. So he ends up being there. I think maybe he did the smalls on blue or something. I'm not really too sure. But like I said, if I do hard push that wave and he TPs in, he's going to get full credit. So he could hit level 2. Like say he started on like a red buff for some reason and then TPs over, he will get the credit for that wave. So sometimes it's best to just freeze, but I just wanted to go straight to my blue. Something to note there is I missed one of those minions. Not too big of a deal. Like I said, in this laning phase, I want to play super aggressive, or at least try to play super aggressive. Maybe not early on right now because I don't have too much kill potential on the Zhong. Zhong is very hard to kill early on, especially with the sustain he has. But I do, once I get my boots, I want to play super aggressive and look for kills, look for invades, and look for power plays off of my advantage of being just being able to do a bunch of damage early on as a warrior, especially as like an Erlang. Something to note as well is that I take a tower shot here. This is pretty noob. I took a tower shot there, and he's still playing back. In that situation, I probably would have played up as the Zhonghui, considering that my opponent just took a tower shot for no reason and was a little bit poked. However, I'm just going to sustain it back up with my pots that I went, just so I could tank tower shots in this situation, and also with my Warrior's Blessing. So something with Erlang is using your 2 to stack your Warrior's Blessing pretty consistently. It's just a safe way to proc it, just like a chalk one. That's basically the same cooldown. It's on a little bit longer of a cooldown, so you'll pretty much always have it up for your Warrior's Blessing. But so just save that so you can proc it from far away so that you can get your Warrior's Blessing stacks up. So like I'm going to wait until my Warrior's Blessing pass is gone, and then I'm going to 2 him so that I can get my my stack on it. And your 2 is good for wave clear. It's also good for poke, but it's also good for just stacking that. But the best way to use it is if you can hit the entire wave plus the enemy solo laner. So throughout this game, I had to tab out a couple times, so it's going to freeze randomly. Like right now, it's frozen, but we're still in the game. Don't worry about it. So right here, it's a little awkward. There's a bug, I guess, when you tab out, and it says that your your CD's on a 0 cooldown, but you can't use it. It's weird. That's why I was like paused there. I couldn't use my pin, my 2. So I have a lot of pressure in solo lane, and something to note with Erlang is that he clears these jungle buffs really fast. We don't have eyes on Morgan, so this is a little bit greedy, but I don't really think they can kill me. Something to note as well is that it's a magical solo laner and a magical jungle. So that means my itemization should be pretty simple. Usually it's either a magical solo plus a physical jungle, or a physical solo magical jungle. That's a little bit more rare, or just physical solo physical jungle. But since it's both magical, I don't have to worry about going 2 separate items, or at least my first item is going to gain a lot of value, my first defense item, just because, which is going to be Ansile, just because not only does it give me a lot of power, but it allows me to play really aggressive because I get the utility and defense that I need. Ansile is just really good against Morgan, right? If Morgan ever ganks you and wants you, like stuns you out of her invis, then she's going to be silenced after, so she can't really follow up. So I'm just keeping those pots just so I can, keep up the sustain and keep playing aggro with my full health. That's something to note, really, is the main reason that you want to have more pots is not only so you can play aggressive, but just so you're full health all the time, so you never have to be scared to like invade a blue buff. Like, what if I'm half health and the jungler comes over and kills me? You just want to be full health, always kind of like walking on a lane and dominating the lane. And the way to play this matchup is basically, I mean, you guys can see, I'm just out clearing him. I can play aggro on him if he plays up, but if he's sitting under his tower, all I really need to focus on is 1, stacking my Warrior's Blessing, and 2, clearing the wave and just having the pressure and being able to rotate if I need to. So this game didn't start out too well for my teammates. I know that we started out kind of rough, but I end up carrying pretty hard, so it's a pretty interesting game to watch for sure. I don't know how much you'll be able to learn from it because I kind of just like own everywhere. And it's not as much of, it's not really one of those games where it's a close game and I have to like fix problems or fix mistakes. There's obviously things I could be doing better, because there's always things you could be doing better. Like right here, I'm going for a kill, but Zhonghui is actually so tanky that like most characters, I feel like I probably kill there, right, in that combo. I have full boots, I do a lot of damage with it. I auto canceled like pretty much perfectly, and I have the heal coming from my ult under the tower. So I go for the kill. Unfortunately, he's just too tanky. Zhong gets a lot of protections from his passive. So, but at the end of the day, that's not really the point. Getting the kill would just have been a plus. I really just want to go for the blue buff there, and that's why I'm playing like that. So his TP is down, so he's not going to TP back into lane here. So, oh wait. Well, he is going to TP back into lane, but you know what I meant. His TP is now down, and also, I was just playing a little bit back there because Morgan ended up showing up. My pin is really good against Morgan because if I just pin her, she can't really, walk out. She can't really follow me up. So I do have self-peel in that regard. However, against Zhonghui, Zhonghui has slows, which Erlang can't immune. He has a stun, which can stun out my mink. Even if I knock him up, the animation will still count, and it will stun me out of my mink. So he has a few ways to peel for himself and kind of lock me down. And if he goes to Viso, then I will really be feeling it. So Wingblade might be something that you could look to go. So here's another time where I tab out and the game just freezes. No big deal. We'll just chill and wait for it. So once again, look at the cooldown on my 2. It's at 0 right now, and I can't use it. So that's why I'm playing like this. It's a little awkward because my 2 isn't working. I'm like looking, trying to pin him, and it just wasn't. It's just a bug, I guess. So. All my health chests is gonna still have my 2 health pots, but I also have my ult for sustain. Basically, I just want to farm up to Ansile now because that's the big power spec that I'm looking for. Because I talked about it before, it's good against their jungler and their solo laner, and it allows me to play super aggressive because I get like a lot of power from it. So I end up getting ganked here. They use all of their damage on me, and I just get my ult off, which is good. And I walk into the jungle just so I can try and make it awkward for them to actually follow up, and I'm able to get out because of the big heal. So see how much Erlang relies on his heal sometimes, and if they have like anti-heal, it's a little bit sad for Erlang. So I'm just playing a little bit back here. I'm going to last hit because Morgan could still be here. Waiting to see where she is on the map until I play aggressive again. Just sitting towards my tower so that I don't get ganked, because you never know. Like, Zhang's playing back, but he could be just baiting me. But now that we see Morgan on the map right there, then I'm able to play aggressive, no problem. So I want to look for the blue again. However, it'll be a little bit more awkward this time, not only because my ult is down, but because I'm pretty poked. All my pots are gone. So here's the situation where I was talking about, where I'm not full health, and I don't have any pots to make sure that I'm full health, so it's really hard for me to play aggressive, because if I do, I could get punished for it. So the best thing to do here is just play it safe, and last hit, and see what happens. But Dodgy looks for a gank, so it kind of changes everything. So I'm walking towards him. All I want Dashi to do here is ult. This Zhonghui has teleport, no way for him to immune the ult, so all she had to do this entire time was ult. She should have done it earlier so that we could just get this kill and get out, because we're not going to be able to follow up off of this. And I hear that the enemies are missing middle, so I'm just running away. See, Ullr ends up showing up. Dashi dies for it. Probably not worth. Although the Ullr did rotate, so it makes the rotation a little bit better because we're getting a mid-wave push in her tower. And I'll be able to soak up this wave once I teleport back in with my Ansile, so no big deal. It's kind of just a wash. Who really cares? So yeah, I'll be able to get my blue as well. I'm starting to do a lot of damage now. So I have 80 power. I have the defense that I need against the Zhonghui and the Morrigan. The utility from the passive against both of them really as well. The Ansile isn't as good against Zhonghui because he can easily get it with his card, and he's not going to get silenced from that if he does it from far away. So it's not as much buying it for the passive against Zhonghui as it is Morrigan, but also it's just about the power and the quick defense. And the 10% CDR is also nice because I'm going to be going a CDR build this game that I've been trying out and liking on a lot of characters, and I really like it on Erlang especially. So it's a little bit different of a build than the usual auto attack warrior build, but that's okay. Still something we're messing around with and just like trying out. So I proxy here because Zhonghui is really low tempo, which basically means that he's not on the map and doesn't have the pressure in the waves and stuff to actually do much. Not only that, but he's pretty far behind, so he can't really punish me. And not only that, I'm on my power spike of Ansile, so that's when I start to look for proxies and rotations. Now I have my defense, I have my power. I can kind of do whatever I want because I'm ahead. Not only am I ahead in levels and gold, but I have a good item, and a defense will always beat a power item or a aggressive item, if that makes sense. So I'm going to rotate back to my lane, but I still have a little bit of time, and I noticed that Sam's looking for speed, the Morgan that is. So I start to rotate over, and since I didn't get a kill out from the Ullr, I was just a little sad, so I was like, all right, let's stick around and look for something. And Sam messaged me, leave me alone. But that's kind of what you have to do, especially in games like this where it's like me versus Sam. I don't recognize like mostly everyone. I don't really recognize any of them, and it's just Sam on the enemy team. So sometimes you just have to shut down who's the best player on the enemy team, and make sure that they don't carry the game by themselves. So yeah. So we're sitting at 2 kills now. We're pretty far ahead of the Zhong. We're 3 levels ahead, which is decent. It's really hard to get that far ahead if a player knows what they're doing in solo in this meta. So just going to be looking for the farm where I can, staying aggressive with my my power spikes and everything like that. So right there, I could have waited for Dashi. That was a little bad of me not to wait for him so they get the XP for that. So Dashi's looking for a gank here. However, I'm like so big that I could kill this guy on my own. Dashi just needs to play it safe. Like, I can bait his cooldowns and make sure that he uses his abilities, but Dashi comes in and basically dies to the Zhonghui for free because of who knows why. I don't know. But like I said, I can kill that guy on my own, so all the Dashi really needs to do there is just wait for him to use his cooldowns, and then she can come in and get the kill as well. Or she could just not be there in general because, like I said, I should be able to get that kill on my own. But anyway, at the end of the day, I don't know if the trade is worth it too much. I'm going to get a lot of farm off of this. It's going to lose some waves in her tower. I'm going to be able to proxy and kind of just do whatever here. We're going to look for backs, of course. So I want to back and get my Glad Shield and maybe a tier 1 of another item and get my second relic. I'm going to go Blink this game. I just really like Blink Erlang. Blink taunts are really nice. It allows you to play super aggressive, and it's really good, especially against characters that can't immediately get away from it. So like Morgan, if I blink taunt, can't get away from it. Zhonghui can't get away from it. X-Ball can get away from it, but sometimes I'll catch his dash with it. So just things like that. So I'm going to TP into mid here. My wave has been proxied. I got their backs. TP into mid here to see if I can help clean up Sam or whoever else is in our jungle, but also just to make sure that they don't do gold. You always got to be looking out for that. And I am so big that I should be able to 1v2 or 1v3. So looking like X-Ball is coming from behind. I do want to play aggressive here. Ullr shows up, so now it's a 1v3, and I get pretty poked. I could go to my team here. However, I know I'm not going to die. I'm just going to use these pots to stay back up. Ullr's playing pretty weird here. He just keeps playing aggressive on me, keeps autoing me. Could punish him for it. He does end up using his jump into left jungle, so I go and look for the punish on him. I blink over and look for the follow-up. Zhonghui shows up, but we force the Ullr Aegis, so I'm just going to play a little bit back now, considering that they're all there. So yeah, it's an awkward situation. I'm just letting my Terra heal me up. I do have a lot of items right now, and a big power spike. Glad Shield's going to keep me sustained up, so I noticed that they're playing pretty greedy and looking for our blue. We force the Uller beads, but we kill him anyway just from the CC chain, the knock up, or the pin knock up into the terror stun. And we're going to end up, or we should end up being able to kill Zhonghui here, but we end up not being able to just because Sam comes in for the peel. So I'm just trying to make use of my Glad Shield and getting some procs off of it. But the fight's kind of a wash. Terra's really low, and I'm pretty poked, and Sam's back from base, so I just want to play back and push my wave. Kind of just like a low-tempo situation where my ult was down, and I was pretty low and just a little bit afraid. But once I get a little bit sustained and I have the wave pushed in, look at that huge wave going into left. That's part of the reason that I come back to the fight, is they have to choose now whether to go defend that lane in that wave, or let it go under tower, or keep fighting in the jungle. So I'm sustained back up. My ult is back up, and I know Sam, his ult is still down, and he's playing aggressive in our jungle, so we just look for the punish. I'm just doing so much damage right now with my combo. The knock up, auto cancels with my 1 and pins, just everything. And I keep him CC'd for a while too. And like I said, I'm going a CDR build, so my ult is on a relatively low cooldown. It's already on a low cooldown because it's 85 seconds, so it's shorter than most. But then I'm going the full CDR, so I'm getting it back pretty fast. So they finished my blue, so I'm just resetting the timer on that. So fighting long-lasting fights are actually really good for any warrior that has one sustain but also low cooldown ultimates, because they'll get their ultimates back up, and that's a big power play. Just checking their blue to make sure it's not up, and then gonna look for the proxy because their jungler is dead, their mid is now dead, and I can kind of do whatever I want with the lead I have at this point. So yeah, like I said, long-lasting fights are really good for characters with sustain and low cooldown ultimates, because they'll get back up in health, whereas the other characters won't. They'll sustain back up, and then also their ult will eventually come back up, and then they'll have that power play. So we're going for the Genjis now. So the build right now is Ansile, Glad Shield, Genjis, double magical defense, because once again my opponent is a magical, their jungler is a magical, and I am now sitting at full CDR when I have my blue buff, which is a lot of utility for Erlang. Also, Genji's guard on Erlang is really, really sick, because a lot of the time you're using your entire kit in one instance. So like, for example, I don't do it too much right here, but or I do a little bit. So I mink at him, then I 1, and then I 2, and I use all of those abilities in the matter of like 2 seconds. So when I get a Genji's proc, all of those abilities are going to come back up. And because I have this power play, and I have this magical defense, and know that this Zhonghui is going to do no damage to me, and I have all my abilities up, and my Genji's got me a reset, I just go for the tower dive and end up killing him, because Erlang does a lot of damage, especially with a build like this. So we know that they're going to rotate over, so we just need to play a little bit back here. We get the tower, which is nice. But basically, a lot of the time, you're going to be knocking up, pinning, and wanting all at the same time. So the Genji's proc is going to bring all those abilities back off cooldown. And not only that, but it makes your 1. If you get a Genji's proc when you're hitting something with your 1 and getting the already lower cooldown because of the auto attacks, it's going to be up instantly. So right here, I got another Genji's proc, and my mink is immediately back up. However, I don't use it because we need to play a little bit careful here, because there's got to be a rotation coming. Possibly not. So they missed their axe and their pluck. So this is my like go in. So I get a blink taunt off. Sam's ends up being here, but we do kill the Sobek, so even if Terra dies, it's no problem. However, I'm pretty sure this is a pretty easy 1v2, even if I get stunned out by X-Ball. Uller's already really low, and my abilities just keep coming back up. There's another Genji's proc, and then immediately Mink. So that's why, that right there is why I've been liking the full CDR, like aggressive bruiser build, especially on a character like Erlang that just gets his cooldowns back like immediately. Just allows you to play so aggressive in this mid game, and this is when you want to play aggressive as a warrior. This is when you're gonna really be strong, because the meta right now doesn't favor warriors too much. But if you're able to get a lead and play super aggressive, and make sure that your presence is known across the map, then it's going to be more power to you, and it's going to help you win the ranked games. It definitely does help that we're fighting a lot in my lane. What they could be doing is just not fighting at all in my lane and fighting over towards duo side and the red buff side, and then it's really hard for me to spread my lead across the map, especially if I'm trying to push waves and make sure that my waves and stuff are pushed. So we're going to go mid-Guardian because they do have double ADC at the end of the day, so I can't just be focusing on the magical in this game. I do have to be also focusing on the ADCs because they will shred me. X-Ball Uller is probably pretty good at killing an Erlang. So I'm just doing my blue here. My wave is really far pushed. Zhonghui is dead, so I don't really have to worry about Zhonghui being there. I have a 5-level lead right now. We're 10-0. But I'm going to rotate now that I've done my blue buff. In some situations, you probably should just go to mid instead of doing your blue buff because you could be helping it right away. However, I looked like my team was already kind of doing well in this fight, so it didn't really matter for me to be there. And I can show up now and kind of do my thing. Here's another example of the Genji's proc just owning, because I just minked, and then again I get my Genji's proc, get my my turtle back up, and we end up just being able to dive pretty easily here. I get a 3-man taunt and a 3-man knockup, so knockups aren't DR'd, right? So a lot of times the play is to taunt, and then almost when the taunt is finished, to knock it up. So this is really greedy, really bad play by me here. I'm just going for the triple kill since I have the double kill, so this is a big rank play, and I should have been doing it, and I should have gotten punished for it. This X-Ball should kill me here, but he misses, I think, 1 auto that would end up killing me, and I get some, or 2 autos, and I would have died there pretty easily. So that was a greedy play. Definitely don't go for that. Something that we could have fixed this game, because all we had to do there was play it safe and go to fire and get Fire Giant, but we go for the triple kill, and we end up killing him, but like I said, it was just because he misplayed and missed a couple of autos. Another example of me doing something just stupid and ranked is I'm TPing to this tower here for no reason. What I should do is keep this TP up so that when we push the towers, when we push out and go for the Phoenixes, if I ever get poked, I can just TP back in with a upgraded TP. But since I did TP, I might as well make use of it. I'm going to go push out the right waves. A lot of times when you get Fire Giant, what you want to do immediately is push out your waves to make sure that you'll have waves for when you siege, because you always want to have a wave for the backdoor protections, and also, of course, do tank. We're going to do the purple as well. X-Ball is still dead. There's no way they can ever really kill me. I'm way too far ahead. And I should be able to at least like trade one person. If I do end up dying, I should be able to at least kill one person, or at least make them use a lot. So just playing super aggressive in ranked. So now we're at full CDR when we don't have blue buff, which is nice. Witchblade for the double ADC. The movement speed's really nice. The attack speed actually helps a little bit. You do get a lot of attack speed from your Mink already, but the extra attack speed you get from Witchblade is going to just give you more procs on your one. So it's just extra damage, extra DPS. So just going to push out the mid waves here. Like I said, what you want to do once you get fire is push out waves to make sure that you can have the waves for when you push. Ullr's looking for an axe for some reason, telling him to step back because he can't mess with me. But they're playing up, and we have Fire Giants, so these should be easy kills for us. This will help our push a lot. So Ra ult hits randomly there, and the Daji dot kills him. I thought I was going to have to end up cleaning him up, but no problem. Sobek Waste is horrific. He's going to die here no matter what, and we'll get that. But look where the waves are on the map right now. We have a wave meeting in mid, we have a wave meeting in duo, we have a wave meeting in solo. None of the waves are actually past the halfway point for us in our advantage, so we can't even exactly push, and if they keep pushing the waves, it's going to make it really awkward for us, and that's what they did while they were dying. We can just push anyway and get towers without the minions when they have 2 people dead, but if they didn't have 2 people dead, it would have been a lot more awkward for us. So there's another example of my game freezing. They end up trying to kill me, but they don't do nearly enough damage, and my Ra was there to help me. So I was going to back here, but just to stay back up, but I don't need to. I have my ult, I have pots going, I have Fire Giant regen. You know, I should be good. I also have the sustain that if I need to really heal instantly. For some reason we need a pause here, which is fine. But now we also have 2 dead, so let's look at the map and what we need to do here. We have 2 people dead on enemy team. We can push for free. No way they can ever defend these tier 2s, especially with their people dead. But also just because of our lead and the fact that we have Fire Giant. It would be nice to have these waves pushed up. However, we don't. We should be able to just clear all these the towers for free, and that's the safest play, is just go for all the towers and then have maybe we don't even go for Phoenixes on this Fire Giant push. We just get the towers and then we wait for the next fire, set up around that, make sure our waves are all pushed out, and then on the next one go for the Phoenixes. Unless more people die. If we're able to get picks, then we could easily go for a Phoenix, and that is the most likely play. So I'm just going to skip ahead here, make sure that we are paused for too long. Right, we're unpausing. Cool. So they're playing up here. I look for the blink taunt and a knock up. So we force the Ullr beads. Ra ult misses, which is unfortunate. I don't know why I dropped the tower there. I should obviously tank the tower there because I'm still full health and I have that heal coming from my taunt. And you know, X-Ball obviously dashed out of base or something there because he didn't have it up for that. And I just do 1 billion damage, so I go for the kill. So now, like I said, we couldn't have gone for Phoenix unless they died, and they did die. A lot of them died, so we were able to get the mid Phoenix here, and I'm just forcing out the Ullr so he doesn't ever come close to my team, and I can do that, and he can't 1v1 me because of my anti-ADC build. Okay, so that was what I just did there. Was a little, I was just show button because, so I knew Ullr would come back, and I figured he would come back on the left side and I guess stage right. He would come back on that side, and so I was like, I'm gonna try and 360 him. So this is really troll, and like again, this is just a rank play, and this is me trying to kill Sam because it's Sam and he's my friend, and I was trying to kill him under the fountain just for fun. However, it is a big rank play. We could have probably even killed or killed the Titan and ended the game there. And also, I think I could have killed Sam even then if I didn't miss my autos. But I was missing my autos, and it was awkward. So unfortunate. But like I said, should not have gone for that plant to begin with. But yeah, I was actually really proud of the little Uller flick with my pin, because I didn't even know he was there for sure. I just figured he would be there, and I ended up actually pinning him right on the spot, so that was cool. So Daji's just died. We don't have, or Fire Giant's not up for another minute, so we should be fine. I tell my team sorry because it was kind of my fault. But I do end up selling my boots here for stone cutting. So I have the movement speed from Witchblade, right? So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll end up selling my boots for another item because I will have just as much movement speed as I would get from boots and not having another movement speed item. So I have my TP here. I have no idea why I didn't TP to the tier 2. I do kind of have an idea. I figured that they would just back up. They would just run away if they saw me TPing in there. So I TP back here just so that I can get the surprise on them. So we're going to kill both these people pretty much no matter what. So we'll just go for X-Ball here and we'll clean that up. Fire Giant spawning soon. We should be able to get that. So even though we died and we were kind of in a weird spot, we ended up getting the kills because they kind of stayed too long. It might have been just the best play that they could have made there for sure because they were already pretty far behind. We got a mid-Phoenix and stuff like that. Damage on Titan. So basically what we need to do now is just do fire and push again, and should be able to end pretty easily. Their play to get back in this game is try and get their mid-Phoenix up so their Titan can heal, and maybe some sort of split push play or something like that. Try and force somebody out of position and try and get a pick. That would probably be the best thing for them. So we're just going to get this pretty easily. So Morgan ends up being here, so it is my kind of job to zone, but I also need a tank because I don't want Uller to take too much damage, but we should be able to kill this guy pretty easily. So Hachiman gets off of, did I say Uller? I meant Hachi. Hachiman gets off Fire Giant, which I think is probably the play there, but I think we'll kill them pretty much no matter what without him. He just was already pretty low, I guess. And since Uller's pushing right, we're just going to do fire for free now. Should probably just do it even if the other people come, just because Hachiman's already pretty low. So they're not here, so we're going to get this for free. X-Ball's pushing out mid, so he has to worry about the fire waves. I'm going to go push left. We do want to get rid of these towers, and especially this left tier 2 because it's already 1 HP and we have Fire Giants, so no big deal. So just push out the waves. Terra's defending right. They still have 2 dead, so we can kind of play aggressive even without our Terra here. Hachiman's pushing it down mid. The play here is probably look for the left Phoenix. If it seems too difficult, then we'll just go to mid once it respawns since it's 1 HP. But also gold and the 2 towers are up and right, and Hachiman went that way, so that's something to note. I'm still playing aggressive because I'm just, I don't know, just like doing that in ranked. But considering Hachiman isn't even here for some reason, I would have liked to have pushed then because we have the fire wave pressure in mid. The Phoenix is spawning, and not only that, but we just have so much going in our advantage. So that was a really bad. I tried to blink over to mid here, but the wall got in the way, and I ended up just taunting for no reason. I tell my Raw that I was going to blink taunts and get like 2 people, and he could have followed up off of that. So I'm going to chase this X-Ball here. Good. It's good that you have like blink plus another movement speed ability like this. Like it just allows me to chase down so hard and make it so difficult for their carries to get away. So I end up killing the X-Ball, which is good, but we do need to back up because we can't really pressure this Phoenix without Hachiman here. So he still isn't here. There's just so much downtime on this Fire Giant where this Hachiman wasn't here. It's been like 60 seconds, over a minute. So I'm just playing aggressive and left, making sure somebody has to rotate over here. And then once they're over here and rotating, I'm going to go mid. I'm just going to pin him and walk over to mid now. So now we have the wave pressure in left, but also somebody had to rotate, and now we have the pressure in mid, and we end up getting a kill. So I'm just trying to put my pressure in places where I need to and make it really awkward for them to defend things. We have another wave coming in left, but we don't even need it. We should be able to get this pretty guaranteed without it. They still have 2 people dead. Our Hachiman is finally here to help us out. So even though we didn't have the wave, it was still so nice. Looks like Sam went for a raw transformation play. It should be pretty easy to go for Titan here, even though I just healed it because I got plucked into the fountain room and then left. But we should still be able to go for Titan here, especially with the fire pressure once the minions get here. So I think we end up doing that. I'm not too sure, actually. Yeah, I'm not too sure what happens here. We should just be focusing Titan, but we don't have our Raw here, and I think I end up dying. Yeah, okay, I end up dying. They had Divine now. They horrificed me. They slowed me. Our Raw wasn't there. However, I think we'll end up ending the game anyway. I'm not too sure what happens. Okay, yeah, we don't end the game. So that was a potential throw there. I thought if we just focused Titan, we'd be able to end it pretty much no matter what. Oh, look at Ra's face. That looks nice. This is another example of me tabbing out. We have such a big lead that it's not that big of a deal. There's no way they can get like fire or anything too important off it. Maybe they can push down or something, like just run it down mid. I end up selling my Glad Shield for Wingblade now because they have anti-heal, so my Glad Shield's kind of lost a lot of value. So this build is a little bit weird. I'm not all that tanky. However, I find utility items a little bit more useful nowadays, and having too much defense I don't think is that great because of the percent pen items. It's just like there's no real point of having too much of it. Just go for utility. So we can make that kind of a throw play because we still have 2 Phoenixes down. We have a lot of damage on Titan. It's no big deal. I have my TP up here, so I like let my team know that. And you know, I could have TP'd to the tower there, but I figured it was dead no matter what. However, they're playing pretty aggro and they're still pretty low, so I should be able to clean up pretty easily here. I say fuck Sobek. I'm gonna go for the Shonk because I saw that somebody else was low in mid, and I figured if it was a carry, it would be better character to go on. Missed some autos there for no reason. But I'm going to chase them out forever, right? They can't turn around and kill me. There's no way they'll be able to kill me. I should be able to kill them really easily because I just have so much damage in my build. So, I'm also pretty fast because I get 3 movement speed items. So that's another reason I can go Wingblade instead of Glad Shield, just because I already have the movement speed items without boots. So it just increases that efficiency pretty well. And now that they have a bunch of these slows and horrifics, Wingblade actually gets a lot of value. I mean, they've had it all game, but I'm going to taunt Sobek here and knock him up. Just make sure we can confirm this kill. And now that they have 3 dead, we should be able to end the game pretty easily. The Titan's already low, so I'll tank that up. It is my job to tank the Titan almost 100% of the time as a solo laner, unless the support can at some point. And then I was just zoning them out so to make sure that they don't hit our damage dealers while we're on the Titan. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I ended the game 20-2. We pretty much hard carried this game. I think I ended the game with like 40k damage at least, and the next closest person on my team was like, I think like 20k. I guess it'll show it in a second. So pretty good game. Like I said, I kind of just owned across the map. So it's more. This is more of like a bragging gameplay, and not as much as like things I could fix. There's obviously some things I could fix, like I had talked about before. But you know, that's just how you have to play the aggressive warriors right now in the meta. You just have to play super aggressive, always be in lane, always be TPing, always be proxying, looking for back camps, looking for kills, plays in mid, especially come mid game. So I did 37k. Next closest person on my team was, I think, what did it say, 18k or something like that. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this in review. Big carry game. Erlang SHLONG, really fun. Try out the build, give it a try, and make sure that you're always looking at the enemy team's comp for your build, so you know what to build and when to build it. Think about sustain, especially when you're playing a character that relies on sustain, and you know, make sure that you're playing off of your power spikes. Once you have those, the power spikes of like, you know, the 2 defense items, or now you have a bruiser item and you're against a character that is like a magical, and you have a magical resist item, like stuff like that. Just always be playing off your power spikes, and make sure when you're playing a character that's good at a specific time, especially like Erlang, who's good early to mid game, just make sure that you're forcing it at that time, especially around your item power spikes. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'll catch you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed the in review. Peace out.